Okay, I hadn't made a video in a while. The pedal that I built a long time ago was my first guitar fuzz that I built. And this thing, I just plugged it back in and I went through a whole series of videos of putting together the Blue Monster. And it's a little bit different circuit, but this one has this other circuit that's just kind of way over the top. It sputters out. It doesn't have the sustain. You can't clean it up like you can. So I don't regret anything that I've done. It's just it was time to move on and try to find those sounds like the tone bender. So I basically got a tone bender pedal fuzz face pedal already, which is the Blue Monster. It doesn't have that fuzzy big muff sound, which this thing does, and it's based off Boz fuzz is what it is. And with these pedals, I mean, trying to say that you'd ever put these things out on the market, that's about impossible, because everything's been done. I think with the delay pedals, that would be something that maybe new territories and things like that. But with this is just rehashing of things that have been out since the 60s. Anyway, here's Clean Channel. Now, what's so inspirational about this pedal is you kick it in and you just all of a sudden start playing to it. Because of the things that it can do. It's got that sustain like crazy. I thought I had put a volume pedal on it, but it is just kind of a one deal thing. And as far as the volume or the potentiometer that I put on here, it's more like a bias control, if anything. But it doesn't howl back, like it's over the top or anything like my other pedal would do. So it's just its own thing. Once you hold the notes down, it just stains forever. Sustain, I guess. That's the best it'll clean up. Pretty sputtery. All right, this might be the new project. I don't know. I have my first guitar pedal, we'll say, that I ever built. And it was a situation where this became a very aggressive distortion fuzz pedal. Well, this thing over here has caused me fits. This thing's called the Synology Madness. I'm starting to believe why I called it that. There's a situation. This thing won't operate with the foot switch that I put in it originally. So what I need to do is swap it out. But I'm going to use this as the test to figure things out. So here's a quick rundown of today. I didn't do much. I just took out the, unfastened it where I can take a look and see what's going on with this. Tested it, and it works. It's just, I think that foot switch is faulty. So I'm going to go ahead and change it out. I do have this other one, like I said. I labeled everything there. So whenever I put the new switch in, that will go there. I may even put that in a new box or something. That's a hefty circuit. I'd like to maybe group it up with some delay if I could somehow or another. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Anyway, as we zoom down here, I got the old one right here. That's got to come out. And I took this one on the left side here out of this box. That's, instead of waiting on the parts, I figured I'd just do it this way. And something I did a little bit different, if you notice, you can see those two white wires. This one right there, let me get a little pointer here. This one right here matches that one. And instead of that wire going all the way around the other white wire, I decided to go this way with it. That's going to give me a little bit of clearance to work instead of burning up a wire. With those solder and all that stuff gets very delicate in there. So I got to be careful. And hopefully it still works because I applied a lot of heat to get all this stuff cleaned up. There's the circuit. That's the Synology Madness that I'm working on. Got my schematic right here. Wrote out this one, and then I compared it to the one that was the fuzz pedal. It's a Boz fuzz, I'll go ahead and say that. And then I went to my notes and wrote out the schematic. So this is the way that it should be. And so therefore I'm going, like I said, all the way around. I'm going to go this way with it. And now all the rest of those things should be out of the way so that it goes in there nice and neat. While I got this thing open, there is a problem with, we can get in there. You can see some numbers on it. That is a rotary switch that I need to replace. And I do have some mini rotary switches. The only thing is, I don't know what size that, if it fits or whatever. So that's something I could look into while I got this, but that's just extra soldering. And like I said, there's 5 different sounds that you should be able to get with the vibrato or chorus. So this pedal can do a lot of stuff. Hopefully I can have some success, but I know this thing has caused me fits like crazy. So what I'm trying to do, like I said, is just replace this old switch with a new one, and hopefully that'll be the end of the road on this one at this point. Over now. Okay, here's the follow-up to the video that I made last. I basically just put it all back together. I didn't, y'all saw me put a lot of stuff together, so I figured that's enough of that. Anyway, there's the Synology Madness. As far as what it sounds like, can't really hold a camera and play at the same time. So just got to kind of imagine. So the thing about it is maybe I can do it this way. Turn this around. I'll just set the camera down like that. That's the chorus feature. There's the vibrato. Now I'll put it back on the chorus. Get a little more extreme with the chorus. And again, it has a the rate, which is the top button, or top knob rather, and the bottom one is the depth. So I can bring that intensity down of it. This is where you set that. So, you know, it's a fun little gadget. It's been a headache and a half, I'll tell you that much, but it's back on the board. Walk you through the settings here. This is setting 1 with the Synology Madness. We'll go to 2. There's 3. There's 4. So every little sound that you ever would want, you know, say chorus and vibrato, you can find it. There's setting 5. Setting 6, as I said, does not work. And that would be something to go in there and maybe put a different pot. But anyway, 5, good enough to get back on the board. Hey, it works. I'll be dang. So, setting 6 works. Oh, I'm more than beyond happy now. difference is a vibrato. I'm just dialing it down from 6 to 1. Not really much change there. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can't really do much with that. So vibrato is very limited. Back to chorus. Put it on all the way on 6 now. So all those settings work. I'm very surprised. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And here I have the very first guitar pedal I ever built. And I was pretty happy with it when I built it and got it working. Brings back memories, a long time ago. And I had a foot switch that went bad in the Sonology Madness. I took another foot switch out of there and placed it into the Sonology Madness. End of story with it. It works phenomenally now. As we look at this, this is nice and tidy. Did that back when I was just using speaker wire. So just tested it. It works. I should get something now. So you might be able to hear that. I can't really play it. But I'm going to close it up. And again, that was my first guitar build. Moving on to these things. Things had changed. This will be my 6th pedal after, I think, a total of 7 pedals. So, way different than what it used to be. The primitive, that is, versus this. And this is on the strip board now. It's got the copper traces in the back. And all kinds of things. I guess you could count that as a project too. Also the theremin. That's a lot of projects I've built. So as we zoom out, there it all is. All right, so there's the first guitar pedal I was speaking about. I got it all in its enclosure. Built it out of a LPB1, I think is what that thing is. Yeah, that's what it was. And I built a LPB1. I forgot about that. It might be 8 guitar pedals now. So getting, some experience with these things. And I'll be showing the other one here in the future, hopefully here in the next couple of days, get it all in that enclosure. But this one is a Boz Fuzz. Very first circuit I ever got my hands into. Very basic. That's the thing about it. It's got a lot of sustain. I'd have to crank the amp up for you to hear it. And, you know, it's just late. No, I can't do that right now. A little too much effect. And that's the Blue Monster.